Pyrocynical has always been one of my main inspirations for my YouTube channels. In fact, one of the reasons that I started my channel in the first place was because his content started to suck. Excuse me for not wanting to watch a 4.5 hour long tier list from some game by a schizophrenic incel in Sweden. After Pyrocynical got exposed for being a degenerate fart huffer, his demeanor changed and so did his content. Shameful enough to recognize that it's disgusting, but not shameful enough to go to therapy and get a real job. The old Pyrocynical is gone, and now all we have is a
totally normal person.
So I'm going to be taking it upon myself to bring justice to former Pyrocynical fans like myself. How am I going to be doing that, you may be asking? I'm bringing back ASOT. What's up? It's your boy, Pyrocynical here. Now, today, I want to talk about some cringe I saw on my YouTube recommended page. Lele Pond smokes weed? Bruh. Guys, this is so sad. Can we please get 50 likes? If this video gets 50 likes, I will delete my YouTube channel. Permanently. All jokes aside, for real though, I'm stealing ASOT because Pyro won't do anything with it, and it's my goddamn right as an American to f the metaphorical mouth of the British. The First Amendment of the Constitution says that I can do whatever the f I want, so I'm doing it. Besides, I finally get to own Pyrocynical with facts and logic. Fact: Pyrocynical likes fat, farting furries with stinky farts and sweaty man boobs. Logic. Knowledge. Anyways, I'm gonna start doing ASOT, and we're gonna talk about some random shit that's been going online the past week or so. So let's get into it.
The internet is not something that you just dump something on. The internet is not a big truck. The internet is a series of tubes.
You guys are not going to believe this. KSI has cancer. Do you want to win all the gift cards down below?
Recently, Mr. Beast teamed up with Logan Paul and KSI to release a Lunchables competitor called Lunchly, which features a Mr. Beast chocolate bar and a delicious bottle of flavored chemicals. People are upset about this because of, like, I don't know, like capitalism or something. The usual suspect. Don't get me wrong, all right? The last thing I want to eat are Mr. Beast Skibbity Slicers. And the day that I drink a bottle of Prime is the day my family perishes in a hurricane. But I did find it pretty funny that they excused its high sodium count by claiming it's full of electrolytes. People hear electrolytes and are like, oh yeah, like that's in like Gatorade and shit. It must be pretty good. No. But then when you realize a Big Mac has 1,560 milligrams of electrolytes, you realize that actually electrolytes low-key suck. Imagine if McDonald's tried to advertise their food as being high in electrolytes because it's full of salt. But regardless, I don't expect this to be healthy. You know, I don't expect most food to be healthy, and I just ultimately don't give a I mean, I survive on nothing but Uber Eats and nicotine. Anyways, since this is the internet and really stupid things are important, this whole Lunchly thing became an issue for a lot of people. You know, people are dying of AIDS and cancer, but more pressing issues have risen to the surface, such as Logan Paul putting his meat in the mouths of children. Well-known balding YouTuber Dan TDM spoke out against Lunchly, saying, "What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better." I have to say that complaining that people are selling things for the sake of making money is one of the most uniquely stupid things I've ever heard. It's like complaining that people take a shit in the toilet because pooping feels good. We used to take shits because our stomach hurts. Now we're taking shits because it makes our souls feel good. What the f is going on with society? Obviously, both Prime and Feastables are like marketed to children, and there's like some moral complications with that. But realistically, it's like stupid and pointless. I don't think anyone with like a real life should actually give a shit. However, KSI in particular has been melting down over this. He pointed out that Dan TDM has also sold things, so that makes him like a hypocrite, which doesn't really work because I don't think he was making a point about selling merchandise that fans could collect. Rather, he was pointing out that Lunchly is not merch. It is a product that is being sold, and it has value solely based on who is selling it. KSI continued to melt down, and then like as people started giving him backlash for this, like he picked the worst argument he could find and then decided to attack it, which is something that people do when they are wrong about something. But he was talking about food, JJ. He was sponsored, then promoted and made a whole video on Munch Pack, a monthly sub box full of food and candy, to his Minecraft audience full of kids. Now what? Oh no, what? Not the f***ing Minecraft audience. Once again, this doesn't make any sense because this is clearly a sponsorship and not an entire corporation. It is far more ethical to take a brand deal with another company and give your fans a discount than it is to create an entire brand that is designed to get money from children. Realistically, both KSI and Dan are morons and this whole thing is just really stupid. But at least Dan was stoic enough to just say his piece and move on. Like, he hasn't contributed to the discourse at all, while KSI is just yelling into the void, constantly tweeting at Dan, and he's just being ignored the whole time. In fact, he's milking this so hard that he's using the whole fiasco to promote his new song. This whole Dan TDM and Lunchley beef really shows that I'm in the thick of it. Out October 4th, pre-save, link in bio. I like how he describes the situation as beef when in reality all that happened was Dan said something stupid and then you had a mental breakdown over it. Also, the song that he dropped is so bad. It sounds like it belongs in a trailer for a Pixar movie about a friendly bird that learns how to fly. He promoted the song by pretending to give an apology, and he even bought this domain that just relinks to the music video. KSI, you are an insane person. I think people with brain worms are more stable than you, and they have worms inside of their brain. The funniest part is that all of the comments for the music video are just on the song, and KSI knows very well how many people hate it because he tweeted about it saying, "These stupid fans leave trash comments on my new song, think they're getting to me. You're not. It's not funny. It's boring. You're wasting your time." KSI, if you didn't care, you would just not say anything at all. Like, for example, I don't care that I have to change my socks every day because it doesn't emotionally affect me to do so. And thus, I do not tweet about how much I don't care about changing my socks because that doesn't make any sense. You are a millionaire. If your biggest issue is like people don't like your music, then you have it pretty good. Your song is cringe and gay, all right? Get owned. Jack Doherty, aka the world's tallest dwarf, is back in the headlines. Jack Doherty is well known for his epic pranks where he harasses people and hides behind some random black guy he hired to protect him. When Jack Doherty isn't being touched by black people, he enjoys driving around his epic and swag car. But unfortunately for Jack, he has the mental capacity of a blooming onion from Outback Steakhouse. He ended up crashing his car live on stream, and as you can clearly see in the video, the road is like very, very wet. And he decided to rev his engine right over a puddle and he just started hydroplaning. Now, I've hydroplaned before, okay? It's relatively easy to get out of. You just gotta slow down and just keep the car straight. But unfortunately for Jack, all 7 of his brain cells were on their lunch break, so he just did everything wrong. He starts hydroplaning and then he just whips the wheel in the other direction without letting his foot off the gas. And then he just crashes in the middle of the road.
Oh! No! No! No!
My favorite thing about this situation is that he is like very clearly looking at his phone, reading chat while driving. And while I wouldn't blame that for what happened, it's funny to think about how his insurance company is going to use that against him and not cover the damages.
Body kit, everything. All my money's gone. The exhaust, the whole body kit. My insurance won't cover that, right?
Jack used to be a dysgenic short guy with a multi-million-dollar sports car, and now he's just dysgenic and short. The car got totaled, by the way, like, it's completely The saddest part about the situation is the fact that Jack Doherty survived. I'm not saying I wish he died, but I am saying it would have been funny. But what makes Jack truly look pathetic is when he makes his friend, who is bleeding out of his head, take the fucking camera and continue to record everything. Seriously though, like, he could have killed somebody, like his cameraman or someone else on the road. Like, as funny as this situation is, it's actually very serious and really, really bad. Thankfully, no one died, and the only thing that got fucked up was his stupid, ugly car. But seriously, Jack Doherty, you are a specimen of the lowest caliber. I've met plants with more inherent value than you.
You guys, he literally has a fat ass and I want to smack it.
We got a little bit of a fun one for you guys on this next section. A little lighthearted, wholesome news. The Goth Among Us girl knows who I am. Maybe you remember the channel Arcade Craniacs, where 2 mentally stable individuals ran around screaming at the imposter from Fortnite. Recently, Nicole, the woman, has been making her own commentary videos deep diving into random stuff online. And she made a video explaining the Jake Weber and Tara Yummy lore. What does that have to do with me? fucking nothing. But I did make a video about Brian Stars, who is brought up at one point in the video, and she referenced my video.
And as this creator, EFEXKAY Nate, points out, Brian clearly didn't care what Austin was doing to kids.
I'm not gonna lie, guys, I filled my diaper when I saw this, straight up. I was floating in it. My diaper was loaded with poopy when I saw this. It's just like, if you told me back in 2021 that the hot goth Among Us girl would upload a video with me in it, I would be very confused. Not that it's a bad thing, like, it's cool and I appreciate being shouted out, but like, it's weird to think about how my life has intersected with another aspect of internet history in a way that I never could have predicted. It's also kind of weird because it got me thinking about how my face is just like plastered all over these different corners of the internet by other people who have like promoted me in the past. Like, my digital footprint is for life. Even if I delete everything, like all of my presence online, it will never go away, which is kind of like horrifying, but also like cool at the same time. There's not much I have to say about this. I just thought it was really weird and wanted to talk about it.
Even after that, when I was wrestling with a family friend and I came in my pants, that moment right there.
Back on my main channel, when I still did like drama commentary, I talked about Foozy Tube. This was back when he, you know, potentially assaulted a drunk woman at an airport. And you know, every time Foozy gets himself into some weird I always think that maybe he will somehow figure out how to be a normal human. He does a lot of like IRL streams, and the only way he's able to make actual content that people want to watch is just by like screaming at strangers and embarrassing himself. And he always does this big song and dance when everything blows up in his face. He's like, guys, I'm mentally ill, I'm gonna get help, blah, 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 blah. And he never does because he has the discipline of a lobotomy patient watching Hassan Piker. Every time he comes back, he's just insane and unhinged. Like, he cannot control himself and he never changes. There's a bunch of crazy shit he's done in the past week. I would explain it, but it's like completely pointless. Foozy doing crazy shit is like a normal person drinking water. Like, there's just nothing notable about it whatsoever at this point. But recently he went missing. His management team made this post announcing that they couldn't find him and had no idea where he was. And eventually Foozy would catch wind of this and text his manager saying the following: Nadim, respectfully, please give me some space and let me be alone. You shouldn't have went public. Now the entire world thinks I'm crazy again. You piece of shit. You told everyone about the crazy thing I did, and now everyone has this idea in their head that I did something crazy. Foozy, your reputation is completely You could spend the entire day at home watching Family Guy and I'd still think you're crazy. You can have the most normal day of your life and I will still think that you are mentally unstable. Going missing as an autonomous adult is literally the most insane thing that you can do. Maybe I want to be left alone. Maybe I'm sick of everyone micromanaging every second of my life. I love and respect you all, but yesterday's call was uncalled for. Back to rehab? Really? Because I was content in Toronto? Y'all got me f***ed up. Please call my mommy and fix this. You'll know where I am when I want you to. I'm safe. Foozy is such an entitled douchebag, it's actually insane. As somebody with bipolar disorder, much like Foozy has, it gets to the point where your mental health isn't really an excuse. Because through the mania, you will have a sober moment when you realize how insane you are. And Foozy never takes the initiative to use those moments to get actual help, like get on medication and go to therapy and actually be a good person. He nearly got 5150'd by the police, which is pretty much when like the police determine that you are a danger to yourself and need to be institutionalized. But for whatever reason, they did not send him to a hospital, even though he was clearly manic and erratic. He also does this weird thing at one point where he's like, I don't want to be the Foozy character. I want to be Yusuf. I want to be myself.
So I'm going to ask y'all, because nobody knows my location right now. Nobody has the Addy. Y'all. I'm going to ask y'all, can I hang out with y'all tonight as Yusuf, just me, and not have to be the character I've been on the internet for so many years? And just give me that one night. Whatever, I'll leave. The internet wants me gone anyways. Always, I'll leave. But just give me one night as myself. I'll literally be chill. I'll just talk.
And it's like, I don't know how different both of you are. I'm pretty sure Foozy is one of the most authentic creators on the platform for all the wrong reasons. Your manic episodes and mental breakdowns are not you playing a character. You're just an insane person, I'm pretty sure. He's clearly just trying to expose his behavior by being like, hey guys, I was just joking, lol. It really does not work well, Foozy, especially when you're going missing and crying in the corner on the phone with your mommy. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this week's episode of ASOT. Let me know what else I should cover in this brand new series that I invented. It was totally on my own. I thought of it myself. And like always, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe for epic sex. And I'll catch you on the next video. Bye, guys.